there, and welcome to Bella's Credit Corner. My name is Bella, and here on my YouTube channel, we focus on credit, finances, and money management. So today is actually Fix My Credit Friday. So if you are new to my channel, this is a segment where I give tips and advice to help you fix your credit and to get your overall finances in order. Now, I normally do address a question that I received from one of my social media followers or one of my coaching clients, but in today's episode, I'm going to do something a little different and share a personal story. So, we are in the era of side hustles. Many people are starting their own businesses or working a side hustle in order to bring in extra money into their household. Now, this is a great way to help you pay down debt if you have credit card debt, for example, or if you need to save up for a down payment, or just to create an emergency fund. So, in my financial journey, I have tried a number of side hustles and part time jobs. And in today's video, I want to share my worst experiences when it comes to a side hustle or part time job. Now, I did not rank these in any particular order because they all are just awful, actually. So I am looking forward to sharing this with you. Now, before I jump into today's conversation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you know when my future videos are posted on YouTube. So my first horrific side hustle slash part-time job was selling cutlery. So when I was in college, I would always see flyers around campus asking about, do you want to make $12 to $24 an hour? And it could be a part-time opportunity. So this was back in the early 2000s. So this was definitely an amazing or a great hourly wage for a college student. So I definitely figured I should check it out. Now it did sound too good to be true, but I figured it was worth a shot. So I called the number on the flyer. They asked me a few questions. Then they let me know that I could come in for an interview slash orientation. Now, that should have been my first red flag because normally orientation doesn't happen until you interview and then get the job. But I was so excited that I didn't really pay attention to that. So I did go in for the interview slash orientation. So I got dressed up, I had my resume with me, and I was ready for this interview slash orientation. Now, I will spare you the in-between details, but ultimately the orientation was basically to show us how to sell these knives slash cutlery sets. So they really kept focusing or emphasizing how much money we could make and how easy it could be, and that we ultimately would get paid per presentation that we completed. So ideally, we should start with our family and friends and then branch out to other potential customers once we did receive more experience. So the catch to this is you do only get paid per presentation. So that $12 to $24 per hour was really based upon us being able to complete 1 to 2 presentations in an hour. And ultimately, you would need to have an entire day booked of presentations in order to make money for the day. So I walked away from that opportunity. It was a hard no for me because one, I'm not really a salesperson, and two, it's hard to sell something you're not passionate about. I'm not passionate about cutlery or knife sets. So I definitely had to pass on this one. So my next nightmare of a side hustle slash part-time job was delivering yellow pages. So I recall going through the classified section of a local publication here, and I saw an ad talking about how you can make $400 to $600 a week delivering yellow pages. Now, for me, that sounded like it would be an easy job to complete. So I went ahead, I called the number. I don't recall the details of how I got the job, but I do know once I did get the job, I had to go to the location to pick up these yellow pages. Now, at the time, I had a full-size SUV, so I had the space to pick them up. And I figured, how hard could it be delivering yellow pages? They give you a route, they give you the addresses, you just drop them off, and it should be easy. It should only take me, a couple of hours of my time over the weekend to complete this. But I was so wrong. So I definitely had no idea how long this route was going to be and how many yellow pages I was going to have to deliver. So this part-time job that I thought would only take me a couple of hours to complete over the weekend ended up taking me 8 to 10 hours to complete. By the end of my route, I was exhausted. My arms were so sore. And honestly, for the amount of labor and work I had to put into it, it was not worth the money at all. And then that 400 to 600 a week was more so if you did it full time. I definitely could not do it full time. So on a part-time basis and the amount of hours I had to spend, it definitely was not worth it. And there's no way I could have done that on a long-term basis. So the next nightmare of a side hustle slash part-time job that I tried was working in a sweepstakes call center. Now this job was a work from home position, which was really ideal because at the time I was in my first marriage, we had two small children, and childcare was expensive. So if I could find a way to work from home and make additional money, it definitely seemed like a win-win situation. So I applied for the job, and then once I got the job, I had to go into the location for training slash orientation. Now, the orientation did last a couple of weeks, and it was a bit brutal because this call center was not your traditional call center where you call in to, right, make a payment or ask questions or you have technical issues. It was a totally different ball game altogether. So this company would actually send out mailers to people's homes, and they would tell them about how they can enter a sweepstakes by calling the number on the back of the card. Now the catch is once they call into the call center, we as the customer service reps have to pitch a few sales to them before they can actually enter the sweepstakes. So our screen would have various prompts of what offers were available to them for them to purchase. And we literally had to go through every single prompt before the customer or client could enter the giveaway. So you can imagine how annoyed people would get when you're literally trying to sell them something and all they want is to enter into the sweepstakes for a chance to win a prize. So I know for me, by the time they realized what I was doing, I could only go through 1, 2, maybe 3 of the prompts before they would get angry or they would hang up. And so doing this on a daily basis was really brutal for me. I really couldn't handle it. I felt really sleazy doing it also. So that was a job I also did not stick to. It just wasn't my thing, and it was definitely very stressful. And for a part-time job, it just wasn't worth the headache. Luckily, we have come a long, long way when it comes to side hustles and part-time jobs. With the internet and social media, there are so many more options that are more lucrative than the things that I actually tried, right? So let me know in the comments below, what nightmare of a side hustle or part-time job have you tried in the past? I would love to hear your story, so feel free to share. Now, I want to thank you for stopping by and watching today's video. Now, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.